Today I'd like to share with you all House Resolution 67, which honors former State Representative Robert Bob Walters, who passed away in Godfrey on January 21st, 2023, at the age of 92. Representative Walters was elected to this House in 1970 and proudly served 2 terms in the House, representing the people of Alton, Godfrey, and other areas that cover the 111th District where I currently serve. Bob was a U.S. Army veteran and worked for his family business before being elected to the House. He then worked as the executive director of the Southwestern Illinois Employers Association, which brought him back to the State House to lobby for businesses and employers in Madison County. In 2005, Bob was appointed to the Illinois State Board of Elections and served there until his retirement in 2012. Bob and his beloved wife, Jeannie, raised 9 children. They were deeply committed to their Catholic faith and served the community together in many ways, sharing their faith with others. They also volunteered as youth coaches and were avid local sports fans. I first got to know Bob and Jeannie as my high school tennis coaches at Marquette Catholic High School. They taught me and hundreds of others the basics of tennis, but also the importance of good sportsmanship, playing fair, and treating everyone with respect. One of my fondest memories of high school is the drive to the away tennis matches. We would leave school early, pile all of us girls into Mrs. Walters' large conversion van, stop by Mr. Walters' office to pick him up, and then travel to the match. We certainly didn't have fancy buses back then to get us there. We just had their giant van. They certainly knew a lot of patience with all of us noisy girls from raising their own large family. I couldn't tell stories about Bob Walters and not mention 2 things that set him apart in any crowd. Whenever you saw him at a local youth sports event, you would see him standing in the back of the crowd with his highlighter orange Winchester hat and an unlit cigar in his mouth. Bob was known and loved by all, and one of the things that stood out to me at his funeral and visitation was how many people said that Bob was one of their best friends. Not just a friend or an acquaintance, but a best friend. He clearly made everyone feel very special. And I feel very special too for having known Bob and Jeannie and their family. He was very happy that I am in this House seat that was once his. And I know that he followed my work and my campaigns, and neither he nor I would have guessed that his very average tennis player would be his representative in his seat one day. Many Madison County Republican elected officials would not be in office today without his leadership and guidance that he gave to all of us over the decades. He was always active and supportive, giving advice, sharing stories with his dry wit, and he did this over the years to us all. He is sorely missed by his family and all of us who feel like part of his family. He will never be forgotten. His outstanding service to the state of Illinois is worthy of our honor and gratitude. Therefore, I ask you all for a moment of silence today in his honor.
Thank you. Representative Davidsmeyer, are you speaking to the resolution? Please proceed.
To the resolution, I want to thank Representative Elik. She did an amazing job. Bob was one of those guys that I really appreciate because you always knew where you stood with him. And it wasn't in an adversarial way. He told it how it was, but like Representative Elik said, he made you feel like part of his family or one of his best friends. And I will say, every time I saw him, he had that cigar in his mouth. It's sad to think of a good guy, a very good person who served in this body. It's such a great loss to our area and to this body and to the state of Illinois. I want to thank his family for giving him to us for so long, and certainly would concur that we need a moment of silence. Thank you.
The body will take a moment of silence.